It was early this morning, but the Senate passed the Republicans' budget plan on largely a party line vote. That's teeing up some key elements of President Trump's domestic agenda. All this is happening despite President Trump's stated preference for the House budget plan over the Senate's. So will the House or the Senate plan end up winning the day? Well, joining me now with all the latest is Congressman Ron Estes. He's a member of the House Ways and Means Committee, as well as the Budget Committee and the Joint Economic Committee. He represents the 4th Congressional District of the great state of Kansas. Congressman Estes, welcome back to Washington Watch. Great to see you, my friend.
It's great to see you, Jody. Thanks for having me on.
You bet. All right, so now the Senate has passed their version. So what's the latest on all the budget reconciliation process, especially on your side of the Capitol?
Yeah, it was good that the Senate passed their version last night, but it's really not what we need to proceed forward with. I mean, they did a pared down version that only addressed border security and some defense of the nation. And it doesn't do anything to address some of the other important things that we included in our House resolution that we passed last week. I mean, we looked at and included in our resolution not just supporting border security and improving our national defense, but also, how do we make sure that we don't get a 22% tax increase for Americans next year? Making sure that we have pro-growth energy policies and economic policies in our bill. And we also address the deficit. I mean, that's a piece that we put charges out there for our committees to go look at dollar amounts to actually reduce the deficit. And that's becoming a bigger and bigger issue now as, we have $36 trillion in debt, which is over $106,000 per individual American across the country, and it's increasing every year by about $2 trillion, thanks to all the spending that's been included over the last several years since COVID. So we think that having the bill that addresses all of these issues is something that we can focus on now, provides good value for the country as opposed to spending now and then kicking the can down the road to address the taxes or address the deficit in the future, which is what the Senate's version does.
Yeah, it's a kick in the can down the road seems to be a standard, has become, unfortunately, a standard operating procedure, it seems like, for the last many years. So really glad to see the potential of this changing. And the House version, as the president refers to it, one big, beautiful bill. It kind of covers all of it, like you were just suggesting. And that really is what we need. So let me just throw this out to you. Yesterday actually marked 1 month since President Trump returned to the White House. Breakneck speed he's been operating. Give me how would you grade him so far on his second administration? How's it going so far?
Oh, it really has been breakneck speed. You look at all the things that the president's doing, the things that he talked about during the campaign that he wanted to focus on, the things that we talked about during our re-elections for the House as well as the Senate is how do we limit the government? How do we downsize some of this excessive spending that's out there? How do we make sure that we have good policies in place that actually support the American people, that protect our borders, that help make sure our defense is supported, our men and women and servicemen and women, and President Trump's hit the ground running. And it's hard to think that it's only 30 days ago that the president came in on board and focused on what was going on. We've had the DOGE group that's out there working now under the auspices of what was created back during the Obama administration. The agency was created. President Trump renamed it, and actually is using that technology to go out and sort out waste and fraud and abuse and improper payments. We've seen a whole lot of reporting out of USAID and some of the issues there, some of the stupid things that money was being spent on in those areas, and supporting the Sesame Street program for Iran or supporting DEI initiatives in Burma and other countries, and paying for electric vehicles in Vietnam. And these are things that, American are now being on the hook to the money that's been borrowed to actually pay for these things. So it's uncovered a lot. I'm chairman of the Social Security Subcommittee on Ways and Means this term, and One of the things I'm keeping a very close eye on is some of the information that they've brought out of Social Security. Obviously, we don't want to be making improper payments. We want to make sure that the money's there so that the people that are entitled to Social Security can receive their benefits, and we make sure that we want to fix the system, make sure that it endures into the future for not just current retirees, but also current workers, so that it's there when they retire as well. So we're working hand in glove to help make sure that we can address all of these issues and at the same time move our country forward, make sure that we keep our economy going strong.
Congressman Estes, that's it's just stunning to me. So much of what you just shared, so much. And you know, when you look at just 30 days, as you said, since this president has been here, I've had people tell me on more than one occasion, several occasions, people have said this president has done more in a month than most presidents do in an entire term. And I don't know if that's fully accurate or not, but it sure seems that way. He and Congress, everybody is just moving at an incredible pace, and rightfully so. There's so much to be done. And one of the things, as you just mentioned, is DOGE, this government office for efficiency. Why in the world has it become controversial to demand that the federal government be good stewards of taxpayers' money, of our money? How can that possibly be controversial?
Yeah, it really does reflect on the thought process in Washington for so many years, is that just create a government program and then expect that it lasts forever and that it's going to continue to grow, that more money is going to be put into it. And once you start unpeeling, what really is happening, do we really need to be doing that? People complain because they're living off of the money that's being borrowed to pay them to line their pockets. And so there's so much out there that's being uncovered through this process. We need to make sure that we continue that effort. Even presidents in the past have talked about, making sure that we eliminate fraud and abuse, and yet nothing's been done about it in the past. When the General Accounting Office or the Inspector Generals had identified areas, nothing was really done. In fact, during the Biden administration, the General Accounting Office identified somewhere between 230 and 525 billion dollars in fraudulent payments that they estimated were happening, and nothing was done to fix that. And it's great that President Trump's come in and we've got the DOGE group working to identify that and to stop that.
You actually have a new op-ed that's talking about this whole thing of reining in reckless spending. Real quickly, tell us about that.
Yeah, we wanted to make sure that we help to support the DOGE group in the effort that they're looking at in terms of making sure that we root out this improper payments, fraud, waste. We wanted to make sure that there's no reason that a government program should exist forever. We need to be smart. We need to look and analyze whether things are successful, whether programs are currently working the way they were designed to work. Obviously, there's a role for government. We want to make sure that, as Republicans, we want to make sure it's a limited role, but we also want to make sure that it's effective and efficient in terms of what it does. And so that's why it's so important that we analyze and we don't shy away from. Sometimes it's making tough decisions about whether something is making sense now in the 21st century that may have been created 50 years ago, may have made sense then, but doesn't make as much now that we have the internet, now that we have new technology out there to help us get things done.
Thank you so much, Congressman Ron Estes from Kansas. Wow, you guys have a lot of plates spinning right now. And by the way, we're going to put your column up. For those watching and listening, you can find Congressman Estes' column, his op-ed. We're going to put it up on TonyPerkins.com under today's resources, so be sure to go check that out. Congressman Estes, Godspeed to you. Thank you, my friend. Appreciate you joining us.
Great. Thank you, Jody.